Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Lift and Yap. This week, once again, I've made it to the gym, which is good. Last week I recorded a full thing and it went really well, and then I realised the mic wasn't working when I got home to edit it, so that was quite annoying. But this week, I think, all going well, it should be connected, so well, I guess I'll find out when I get home. This week I wanted to talk about why you should keep the main thing. And at the same time, I'll be doing a little bit of rehab work and maybe some bodybuilding. We're only like 2 weeks on Saturday out from comp, so these Wednesday sessions will start to get shorter and shorter, but yeah, let's get into it. So what I mean by keeping the main thing is remembering that your sport is the be-all and end-all really of your training. So you should be using your games and your training as anchors for your training week. So really remembering that as soon as you're in season, your actual training and your games are the two most important things. So your S&C has to fit around that rather than the other way around. So you shouldn't be picking a programme that's incredibly hard for in season just because you want to get stronger, because at the end of the day, getting better at your sport is the main thing. You get better at your sport by playing it and training. So if your S&C is compromising those things, then to me it's not good S&C. So how do you make sure that you're keeping the main thing? Well, the first thing you want to be doing is using the high-low method. So categorising your days across the week into either high days where you're doing a lot of high stress stuff and then low days where you're not doing very much, if anything at all. So an example of this is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to have high days, so you're doing full body sessions or lower body sessions. You've maybe got a game, or you've got training, or just really anything that's going to cause a lot of fatigue. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you've got those, and then Tuesday and Thursday you're going to have low days where you're maybe doing a bit of skills training or a complete rest day. So what this basically does is creates this kind of cycle of days where you're going to be fatigued, but that's okay because you don't have much to do, and then days where you're feeling fresh, which is good because you've got a lot to do. This means you can get the most out of your tough sessions and your training and your games, which is what you want, and then on days that you don't feel brilliant, it's alright because all you've really got is a bit of skills training or some time at the pool or the sauna or something like that. And then another thing you really want to be doing is using what we call the minimum effective dose. So this is basically the least amount that you can do of something to either get better at it or maintain where you are. So rather than coming in and thinking, right, okay, I want to get stronger, I'm going to do 4 sets of 10 back squat, which is obviously quite a lot of work. And while this will get you stronger, you're going to be absolutely knackered for days after it. So instead of doing your 4 sets of 10 in season, you're maybe doing something like 2 or 3 sets of 3, but they're still quite heavy. And what this does is, whilst it keeps you fresh, it's still giving you a stimulus that's either, as I said, going to maintain your current strength, or it's going to make you a bit stronger. Another example of this is, if you're trying to maintain your cardiovascular fitness in season, you don't need to be going out and running 10Ks, because as much as that might make you a little bit fitter, it's the amount of fatigue versus the requirement to be fresh is just completely out of whack. You need to be doing something that is going to get you a little bit fitter, so maybe doing 30 minutes on the bike, like easy, medium kind of pace, but isn't going to leave you battered. And that's a much more effective way to use your time and your training energy, because, as I said, you're still getting a little bit out of it, but you're also fresh and you can go and play your game or go and do your training and get the most out of those as well. I've just come across a dead spider. I'm not very happy about that. And really this works both ways, because if you're in the middle of the off season, the main thing for you is becoming a better athlete for your sport, or it should be for most of you anyway. So things like getting stronger, getting more powerful, becoming fitter, getting faster, those are going to be like the kind of main things you want to be doing, at least in the first half of your off season. So that means that you don't need to be doing as much skill work, you don't need to be doing as much kind of game-based training. Before we go back to keep the main thing, at the minute, becoming a better athlete is the main thing. So as I said, you don't need to be doing hundreds of game work, which probably not what you do during the off-season anyways. Keeping that same mentality when you go to the in-season about your S&C training, like the main thing for you at that time is to be a good player for your sport, so therefore the S&C is just there to help supplement that really. And you can use this kind of framework if you're really good at something. So say you're someone who's particularly strong, using the minimum effective dose is going to help keep you at your current strength level, but then you can do a little bit more of other qualities if you need to get better at those, and it means you're not losing any of your strength gains, but you're also not putting more into it than you need to. This is said dead spider. If you're wondering why I'm doing these, I've got quad tendinopathy. So, I mean, for any tendon issues, I better not do that actually, take weight off my knee. For any tendon issues, isometrics are really good, but particularly for knees, I've found them super, super helpful. Just realised I haven't started the timer. So yeah, that was really everything I wanted to go over, guys. Hopefully that all makes sense. The main kind of takeaways are: plan around the most important things of the week. Make sure you put them first. 2, make use of the minimum effective dose when and where you can. And 3, I never really mentioned this, but just don't be an idiot. Like, if you've got an important thing tomorrow, don't blast yourself in the gym today. Like, it is pretty simple. So again, yeah, hopefully that all made sense, guys. Any questions, either DM me, put them in the comments. Still, what is there in the description? There's a free in-season programme, free off-season programme, and I think if the link's working, there should be 30 days of free S&C emails. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.